सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The iron gates of the Industrial Training Institute in Punjab's Faridkot marked the entry into purgatory, a place where students had to pay in suffering the price of entry into the adult world. The system political scientist Donna Suri, who herself studied at one of these places, wrote in 1981, was designed for grinding down hope and pushing students into, I quote, acquiring MA after MA, finally coming to an LLB as a preliminary to enrolling in a commercial institute for learning typing. The sky is always overcast, she evocatively observed, with heavy clouds of resentment, frustration, and futility. Like in all prison systems, the inmates plotted escape, but not all agreed where the light lay. In the winter of 1980, when a group of young communists tried to take over the stage at a student festival to preach the gospel of Lenin, they were overpowered by Sikh revivalists who took their directions from their God. The brawl with the communists at the student festival transformed Kulwant Singh Khokrana's life. He was summoned to the Golden Temple to meet with Jarnail Singh Bhindrawale, the rising star of the Sikh neo-fundamentalist movement. There, the preacher ordered Kulwant Singh to stop trimming his beard and become a true Singh, a warrior for the Sikh faith. Earlier this month, Avtar Singh Khanda, the son of Kulwant Singh and social media mentor to fugitive Khalistan evangelist Amritpal Singh, acquired some notoriety online by inspiring protesters to tear the national flag off the Indian High Commission in London. The story of the trail of blood the father unleashed and the tidal wave of Instagram posts the son unleashed help us understand why the ghost of Khalistan still haunts Punjab and the Sikh diaspora. From hagiographic online accounts of Kulwant's life and Punjab police records accessed by ThePrint, it is clear the Moga student immersed himself in the All India Sikh Students Federation, the political arm, if you like, of Bhindrawale's project to consolidate Sikh fundamentalism. Kulwant Singh, however, and this is important, was not in the Golden Temple when the Indian Army stormed it in the summer of 1984. Kulwant Singh, police records show, did however end up in prison, accused along with his brother Balwant Singh of attacking a local Hindu in their village. 18 months later, Kulwant was released, but the prison provided an education of its own, bringing him in close contact with the to-be leader of the Khalistan Commando Force, Gurjant Singh Budsinghwala. Following his release from prison on bail in April 86, Kulwant was married to Charanjit Kaur on 7 May 1986. Likely, I'm guessing, the family hoped the responsibility would bind him to the home and draw him away from his Khalistan activism. Family accounts of the period claim the Punjab police, however, relentlessly harassed Kulwant, even arriving at his wedding seeking bribes. There's no way, of course, of telling whether these stories, with all the distance that has passed, are true, and police records, on the contrary, show that he failed to comply with bail conditions, which included a requirement to report to the authorities every week. Kulwant responded by going underground, and the family moved to rented accommodation near Gurdwara Shri Dukhnivaran Sahib in Patiala. The AISSF leader, though, kept appearing at public rallies with some regularity. Fake encounters and false arrests by the Indian security forces are not finishing the movement, he said at one event in November 1986. Instead, it is fueling the movement for freedom. He added, when a Sikh talks about justice, he or she is labelled a terrorist. So he didn't think of himself, at least up to that point, as a terrorist or insurgent. There is evidence, though, both from pro-Khalistan accounts and police records, that Kulwant had become actively involved in the Khalistan Commando Force by 1987. That summer, he was named as the perpetrator for the attempted assassination of Akali politician Gurcharan Singh Toda, the murderer of Senior Superintendent of Police Govind Ram, and the massacre of 21 RSS volunteers at a park in Moga. It's still there, called Shahidi Park. Later, he was alleged to be involved in the killings of a communist leader, a doctor suspected of passing on information to the police, the leader of a heterodox Dalit religious group, and even the murder of a bank employee who recognized him during a robbery. Finally, Kulwant was shot dead by the police in 1991 as he sought to cover the escape of Gurjant Singh Budhsingwala. Of course, the Khalistan terrorist himself was claimed in an encounter less than a year later. The long beard and his long hanging choga or cloak mark out Avtar Singh, the son, as the inheritor of the Sikh tradition his father died for. The Khalistan's activist speeches are peppered with a language fashionable not just in the Khalistan movement, but the far fringes of the white nationalist movement, as well as elements of the Western left. You'll find references to the deep state, which he claims in one interview runs the world through a secret cabal that operates from the City of London, its financial district. He justifies revolutionaries acquiring wealth, invoking the Rolex watches worn by Fidel Castro and Ernesto Guevara, Che Guevara, who of course were both communists, bit odd for a Khalistani. Avtar Singh was born in the summer of 1988, followed a few months later by his Kolkata-born sister. Like his father, Avtar Singh studied in a local school where he claims to have been radicalized by taunts about his parentage by local Hindus. Again, hard to verify. Then in 2010, family sources say, he left for the United Kingdom, traveling on a visa sponsored by kin. There he successfully applied for political asylum, saying the police was persecuting him back in India. Now remember, this is 2010, a long time after his father had been killed. This new arrival on the Khalistan scene in London, though, had only a very marginal influence in the UK until minor movie star Deep Sidhu emerged as a social media icon during the farmers' movement in 2020, that is. Sidhu had worked and studied in London briefly, but interestingly, there's nothing to suggest he even once met Avtar or discovered the Khalistan cause while he was there. Indeed, Deep Sidhu campaigned for the Bharatiya Janata Party after returning home, before discovering secessionism. Sidhu and Avtar began speaking frequently online after the farmers' movement began, introduced by common social media friends. Amritpal joined the group again, not through some Khalistan circuit, but Twitter rooms. Avtar, by his own account, helped choose Amritpal lead the neo-fundamentalist youth organization Waris Punjab Day after Sidhu died in a road accident in February 2022. There was some bad blood between Reena Roy and Avtar over this issue, but it doesn't seem to have been a large issue among the wider Khalistani movement. Fringe Akali leader Simranjit Singh Mann and elements of the All India Sikh Students Federation hoped Amritpal would emerge as the nucleus of a Khalistan revival in Punjab, helped by diasporic support from figures like Avtar. That didn't happen though, and the reasons bear careful considering. The Khalistan movement and the tensions which raged at ITI all those years back in Faridkot rose under some pretty specific social circumstances. The scholar Hamish Telford, among others, has noted that the gains of the Green Revolution were uneven, generating pockets of resentment in places like Moga. Like Kulwant, Bhindrawale was one of 7 siblings born to a small farmer with little prospect of inheriting viable landholdings. The Green Revolution economy created few opportunities for employment or entrepreneurship. Following an education up to class 5 when he was aged just 10, Bhindrawale joined the Damdami Taksal, a small religious order founded in the 18th century, to which his family had old ties. The mythic egalitarian brotherhood it represented seemed to him and other disgruntled Jat Sikhs at the wrong end of the Green Revolution as an alternative to the unequal modernity that had grown up. Ever since the rise of Sikh leader Avtar Singh in 1962, moreover, the simmering economic tensions also acquired a cultural and political form. Akali leaders like Avtar Singh realized not all Sikhs supported them, and that required cross-building communal pluralities. You couldn't get elected just with Sikh votes. To the fundamentalists, this exposed the faith to annihilation by the twin pressures of westernization and communism. Hence, so many anxieties around the religious observance of young people. I quote, "At one union meeting, some communists started ridiculing the wearing of the kirpan," the terrorist Vasan Singh Zafarwal told the scholar Joyce Pettigrew. "I got up and spoke to defend the Amritdharis, the orthodox Sikhs," he added. The ideal of the communists was Lenin, Zafarwal argued, and the ideal of the capitalists, America. But he wanted a distinctly Sikh utopia. From successive electoral results, though, it became clear that support for Sikh neo-fundamentalists never acquired the critical momentum it needed. Khalistan simply had no mass basis. The idea of rebuilding a mythic, egalitarian homeland still has hold in the diaspora, the story of Avtar Singh tells us. Elderly immigrants are often concerned at the loss of religious observance among their children. Some young people, in turn, see neo-fundamentalism as a tool to assert their distinct identity in a sometimes hostile white milieu. Moreover, as Hindu nationalism grows, some Sikhs fear what lies ahead. The carnage of 1984 is, after all, just a generation behind us. Little, however, was achieved by Amritpal, and even less by Avtar. Amritpal proved unable to expand recruitment beyond a small cluster around Moga, where the Damdami Taksal has long had recruitment and some degree of support. Even though Avtar and Amritpal sought to ride the tide of farmer discontent in Punjab, data shows there was no significant rise either in Khalistan recruitment or in terrorism. Indeed, as the author and scholar Ajay Sani notes, Khalistan groups in the diaspora have mostly had to rely on hiring criminal syndicates to carry out violent acts, not ideologically motivated recruits. The real danger in Punjab, the history shows us, lies in dysfunctional politics, competitive communalism, and a fractured economy, all of which could generate new kinds of crises to come. The ghosts of the past, though, serve only to frighten and distract us from the task of addressing the problems of the present. At ThePrint, we believe in non-hyphenated journalism, high-quality, fair, and questioning journalism. Our exceptional ground reporting is something we're very proud of, and we encourage reporters to travel across the country to tell stories no one else does. All of this comes at a huge cost. To encourage and support our work, I request you to please choose a paid subscription. We're also launching a host of exclusive benefits for subscribers, like priority passes to webinars and on-ground events, and the opportunity to get your own articles published in our Your Turn section, some especially curated newsletters, and much, much more. So please support our work and click on the link in the description below to subscribe. Thank you for watching Security Code. I'm Praveen Swami, and I'm National Security Editor of ThePrint.